My name is Jacqueline Coster, and in response to President Obama, Senator Alexander, Speaker Pelosi, and Senator Reid with Group 1 in the first part of the bipartisan reform meeting, I would like to respond with this. Senator Reid hit the nail on the head. So far, what we've heard from this bipartisan panel are stories of sick people and partisan views on healthcare reform, but no alternative solutions. The best way I feel more compromised solutions would be if leaders such as themselves turn to healthcare providers, the people that are putting their hands on the patients, and to the patients themselves, and go through and pick apart the bill one by one and list the pros and cons. And then after that, make suggestions on what they feel is bad and how they would fix it. Don't go to the insurance companies, don't go to pharmaceutical companies, don't go to government officials. Those are the people that do not need to be making decisions on healthcare reform, because they are not the ones that are getting the care. They are not the consumers, we are, the American people. So while they're all telling their stories, I'll tell my own. Knowing that my dad and both of his parents, they're full-blooded Norwegian. My grandparents immigrated from Norway, and Norwegians are predisposed to have heart conditions. And both my grandmother and grandfather had cabbages, and my dad had a cabbage a couple years ago. So I went to the doctor to have my cholesterol checked, and it was greater than 350. So they put me on Lipitor and also some Coreg. I have mitral valve prolapse, so my heart rate has been pretty high and always has been. I was on these drugs in my early 20s. Before I went through a divorce, I was trying to get pregnant, and so Lipitor is a Class X drug, so you can't take that and have babies at the same time. So I stopped that in Coreg, and I just decided to go back and start taking it again. Back then, the Lipitor was at least $40 a month. The Coreg was about $12 to $15 a month. Now, whenever I went to fill my prescription last week, both of them were free. So Lipitor, Coreg, and my birth control are all free. So while Obamacare doesn't cover prescription drug coverage, there is something going on with how they are handling private insurance companies and their prescription drug plans, that they're making drugs more affordable. Now, with the with public Medicare, Medicaid, and there not being any type of prescription drug coverage or any type of reform with prescription drugs, they do need to come down on the pharmaceutical companies and get the price of prescription drugs down, because it is way too expensive. Other pros with Obamacare that I have found so far that I agree with are that they're not turning away people with existing conditions. They're letting people stay on their insurance till they're 26, which was very beneficial to me, because during that time in my life I was going through a lot, and there was no way I could have afforded health care on my own. No annual or lifetime limits. And then they're offering a lot more low-cost preventive health for women, which I think is pretty fantastic. Things that I would change while we're offering suggestions, I feel like this is what needs to be done with reform. Like I said, pick apart everything that they agree and disagree with. HCAHPS scores, that is not beneficial in any way to any type of reform. What they're doing is, if it's been said once, it's been said 1,000 times. People are coming to hospitals, they're not coming to hotels. So while we're being reimbursed for HCAHPS scores, these scores aren't necessarily true. There's always outliers that bring down the scores, that reduce the reimbursement to hospitals. So people are coming to the hospital because they're sick, because they're hurting, because they need to be taken care of. And like, say you have an exploratory lap, an open lap done, and you had your stomach cut open and you are going to be in pain, and we can't do much for you besides offer you a safe prescription, a dose of prescription pain medicine, whether it be IV, PO, whatever. We can offer you that, but that's not always going to work because you had your stomach cut open. So people will negatively score the hospitals because they were in pain. Well, that's part of the process. You were in pain, but we also found something that was killing you and we saved your life. But patients don't always see it that way. So you have these outliers of people that you can never make happy, and they're in hospitals. They are everywhere in the world, and we're being negatively viewed in the hospitals that way. So HCAHPS scores, it's not beneficial. It's putting nurses, doctors, techs, pharmacies, like it's just putting everybody underneath a microscope that just does not need to happen. Other cons, being required to sign up for healthcare. I think that in a way is unconstitutional. You should have the right to choose. If you're receiving a fine for not providing yourself with health care, I think that is just wrong. I think whenever someone denies health care coverage, whether private or through Obamacare, they be counseled so that they understand that if they should be sick or have an emergency, they are going to have to pay 100% of the cost of their health care out of pocket. Sign a waiver stating that they understand, and just let them go. Let them be on their day. Requiring people to pay a fine that's ridiculous to me. The VA system, I don't know how that needs to change. I don't know if that is something that is covered under Obamacare, but that needs to change as well. Our veterans deserve so much better than that. These are just a couple ideas that I have as far as healthcare and its reform. And all of these facts and suggestions I got off of healthcare.org, Obamacare, reform.org. There's several different websites out there that give different explanations on as far the definitions of how things have changed from before and to now. But like one of the videos that we watched said that the bill is over 1,000 pages long, and something that's that long, there's no way that we can go through and understand all of it. And then Senator Alexander also stated that, I have it right here, it's actually something I forgot to say. He said that the government does not do comprehensive well, and that is a fact. So I think that we do not do comprehensive well. We are not the government's not a healthcare being that is part of something that they do, but they've kind of bitten off way more than they can chew. So they need to go back, take a couple steps back, look at everything, go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and do a true reform. So that is my opinion. Thanks, guys.